Hi everybody, I'm Grels and I bring you this short overview video for the recent very popular Chen build based on his fire and auto attack talents. Chen got a rework recently and got even buffed in the last balance patch last week, and there were last week in the Division S finals of Europe, so what is like left from pro play, and Chen suddenly became high contested first pick material, really strong and picked a lot. So I think that's reason enough to check this build out. So here we go. I call it the Fire Tiger build because yes, that are the talents. So let's go and set a level. We go quickly through the talent picks, what you do. So here we are. Mouth and Blaze battling. So on one, you usually pick Eye of the Tiger. That's your basic stuff. It gives you sustain and more damage. Whenever you hit somebody that is drained with a W or in flames, and you assist this with a usual pick of Acclimating Flame on 4. That gives you a little bit more damage on your W burning and keeps it on for longer, which is good. So you have more sustain and more more damage that you can do. On 7, it's usually Elusive Brawler, which gives you a nice speed buff active on 25 seconds and evade, Illidan-like evade, so you can dodge auto attack heroes, you can dodge towers and force if you want to dive. So it's really practical, and 25 seconds isn't the world. On 10, it's Storm, Earth and Fire, very strong heroic. It does a lot. We go back to that later. And it's just has so much opportunity and hard to catch. Then we go on Ring of Fire. On 13, usually it gives you a lot of damage. This 132 damage every second now on level 20, and for 5 seconds it's just really strong. So this is when Chen get wave clear, and it's a good thing to do. Then on 13, I think the most the thing you usually want is Flying Leap, because it's that suits Chen's playstyle more. So you have more reach and less cooldown. On your Q, you're way more mobile, and on 20, it's the Elemental Conduit if you have picked the Storm, Earth and Fire, because it gets even stronger. Usually the heroic has 3 skills. You can each use once, Earth, Wind and Fire once, and Wind gives you a shield, Earth slows, and Fire empowers your damage and speed. So, and the third one is always empowered, like the slow suddenly roots, and the shields and damage are higher from the others. And if you have the 20 upgrade, it's all of those and double the life, and that's just very strong. So that is the baseline build. Let's check what are the alternatives. The alternatives would be, wow, here we go. So the alternatives, you can pick like, I would always most likely go with on level 1 and 4, it's always the same. It's always Eye of the Tiger and Acclimating Flame. Maybe Withering Flames if there's a lot of mage damage, but it's currently not that popular. So on 7, you might go Brewmaster's Balance, because it's a difference. So like on Brewmaster's Balance, of course it's harder to use because you have to manage your brew, but it gives you more self-heal, a lot of more self-heal, and that might come in handy if you have to hold a solo lane alone for a long time in cases like that. And it gives you more sustained move speed, so you can switch to 20 more move speed all the time if you want to, instead of the healing, so that you manage it yourself. And so it's just harder to use. But on the other side, Elusive Brawler gives you a little bit more movement speed, but just on 25-second cooldown. And yes, you of course have that damage mitigation against auto attacks and structures. But depends. You have to decide. Do you need the mitigation? Do you need the burst speed? Or do you need more sustain on the offlane? That's the decision you can make. On 10 is actually usually Storm, Earth and Fire, but you can go Wandering Keg if you for some reason need to peel or disrupt a lot against a hard engaging comp or something with nearly no backline, and or if the opponent has so much CC that you can't get off your Storm, Earth and Fire at all, so much hard CC, then Wandering Keg is an option. It's a silly. heroic. It's still cool. It can disrupt the enemy and peel for your backliners, and yeah, it's just it's cool. It's a cool heroic. Just Stormwrath and Fire currently is the better one. So on 13, Ring of Fire, it's usually the go-to. If you really can't stay long in fights and have no need for additional wave clear somewhere, that's maybe Pressure Point with a slow, or just anything you need here. That's your decision, but usually it should be Ring of Fire. Just does a lot. 16, actually, that's the tough choice. Flying Leap, I choose this as the main choice because that's more fitting to the Chen play style with the stickiness and jumpiness all over the place. But Celerity is a good optional choice. Like it gives you a lot of more survivability. You get armor whenever hitting somebody you drained in alcohol, and the cooldown of stagger goes down. So Celerity is a good tool. You give up that mobility and jump around possibility and stickiness for way more survivability. That just depends on how the map goes. And then on 20, yes, it's Elemental Conduit. If you really can't get it off and you choose the barrel, you can go with the untapped potential. Then you can you are quicker. You can peel even more and are even more silly. Or you choose the Purifying Brew that gives you the unstoppable if needed. So you can also combine that. Maybe yes, and that Energizing Brew would just win more things. Maybe if you can bring it off, then it's fun. But well, so far so good. Chen moving around here. So what we're gonna do, like do the W here. Come on. You see as long he is drained, I do bonus damage, and that's a lot. That's actually a lot. And I can jump in here and use my Elusive Brawler to survive the shots. And if I want to get more, you can even the stagger didn't do much now, but I can drink through it. So Chen, yeah. So that is that for now. Let's check the strength and weaknesses. Yeah. So let's go with that. Here we are. So Chen, do you see this? Isn't it beautiful? So he is, as we said before, Offlane Bruiser. That's his main role. That's his role he has drafted for. Learn the if you want to improve, you have to figure out the roles in competitive draft mode, which are, like I said, tank, support, offlane, main range damage dealer, and a flex pick, and they define about what they do in the comp, and not specifically about hero roles. So there's a difference. So, but let's go back to Chen. So his strength are he does a lot of damage with that build. He does a lot of damage with this build, and he has the sustain talents. He has his new stagger talent ability, which helps him survive a lot and deal with the damage. He can survive. He has self heal with Brewmaster's Balance even more. He's a strong team fighter. So either in team fights, PvP fighter, so either in team fights as in duels, he can hold a point very long because he doesn't need mana, he can drink himself, so that's his sustain. Survivability, you saw that before. We have so many tools. We have the stagger, we have the fortifying brew, we have something like elusive brawler. He can dive on the backlines very good, so you can pick him against squishy backliners with no mobility, and they will just suffer from his damage. The damage is really hard. He can disrupt well and is sticky and has a lot of in-fight mobility. So that makes him really strong currently in the meta. His weaknesses are, okay, you can list this from, I think, for most heroes, like weakness of CC and burst and peel. That's just so common, but it's a special thing for Chen because he needs to drink for his mana. He needs to get his R off, his Earth, Wind, and Fire, Storm, Earth, and Fire. Excuse me. And if you can disrupt him with a good CC, he can't do this and he's shut down. You can burst him, so if he doesn't get his tools up, you can CC burst him. Of course you can burst any character, but it's a typical, that's the main weakness of Chen actually. If he can't get off any stagger or anything, then he is there. good against him is a peel. So he wants to dive your backline and do some damage to squishy targets. And if you can peel him away from this, this is important. So peel against him is important. It removes his stickiness. It removes his and then he gets shut down. Also like blinds, because he's most reliable on auto attacks. He has weaknesses though in the offlane in wave clear and camp clear. It's just a little bit like maybe Imperius, who gets it later on level 7 most likely, but he gets it even later on level 13 with a Ring of Fire. You have wave clear and camp clear, but before that you have not strong camp clear and wave clear. So if a good rotation sense camps against you, you may have problems. So on the offlane, he's good in holding the offlane, bullying the opponent, dueling, holding ground. He's very strong in that, but he's not good in quickly clearing the lane or pushing out a camp that is going against him, or taking camps himself, or not as good as the other. He's alright with the wave clear though. That is maybe one of his weaknesses. So, and so what else? So Chen, like I said, is good against no mobility squishy backliners, because he has so much stickiness, and yeah, that's just refresh force, toggle minions, come on. So yes, so he does a lot of damage, and he suddenly can disrupt and can jump onto the backline easily and stick with them. So he is a big threat to a lot of heroes with no mobilities that are squishing the backline, like for example an Anna or Kel'Thas something, if he doesn't get off his E, and Tyrande maybe, Hanzo if he can't jump away, stuff like that. Or Reyna. So he's strong. He's really strong against this. And how to counter him is just usually in the off lane. You need something that has also self-sustain and yes, can peel against him or disrupt him. Something like an Iril or etc would be good choices, I think. Also in the team fight, because they can peel him away if he tries city stuff. And maybe a Leo in the offlane is okay, because he can always hit his drain when he's drinking. I don't know how they sustain. And for the team fight itself, maybe a Falstad, if he can just peel him away with a gust, and then he gets again focus him and kill him when his talents are down. So in the offlane you need something that has sustain as well, because he will jump at you and try to trade. Later on, in the team fights, you mainly need the peel. Yeah, that's that. So we got a first look on this build now. Just a few ideas. What else is important for Chen? So you can use your actives while you're drinking. Like if you need it, maybe you can activate the elusive brawler or the stagger while drinking. That's all right. And another cool thing is like where's my cooldowns there? So you have to use your talents for diving, like elusive brawler is on, and I dive this, and that's just good. And you can use your let's check that. So the stagger is like you're collecting this, and the earth, wind, and fire denies damage over times. So if you are really strong poisoned, or if you have a lot of stagger damage collected, use the earth, wind, and fire, and the damage over time thing is deleted, which is also very strong. So using this, and that. You see, and this just mobility behavior is just so awesome with Chen. You should try it yourself. He's, I think, very contested now and strong in the meta, is a competitive meta offlane scenario. So if you are able to perform a good Chen, you are fine with that, I think, most likely currently, if you play offlane. So I think that for today. Yes, let's have Chen a little dance here, and that's for this. I hope you liked that video. You can check my other stuff out on my Twitch channel and YouTube channel and whatever, and I hope to see you soon again. This overview will be downloadable soonish, So so in the description of the video. And yes, I'm Grels, I'm out, and I wish you have fun with a panda. Bye bye.